Before we even begin the podcast today, this is part 2. I want to talk about something that has been brought to my attention, and it's always something that's been brought to my attention. Everybody always asks me, JD, I want to do what you do. I want to have a podcast. I want to make some money or some extra money on the side doing what I love and talking about what I love, wrestling, WWE, video games, etc., etc. YouTube rolled out new regulations for smaller channels. Regulations that, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but it's regulations that I really don't mind. And I'm not saying that I don't mind it because I go unaffected by it, because I meet all the requirements. I like that it went into effect for the simple reason of you guys should be doing this. Everybody that does not meet the requirements, you should be doing this merely as a hobby. I didn't start YouTube with aspirations of making money right off the bat. I didn't start YouTube to even dream of getting where I am now. And still, I'm a nobody. You know? I'm a nobody. I've been fortunate enough to start a home business doing this. I've been fortunate enough to generate a name value in the wrestling community, which I'll talk about in a second, because apparently some salty fucks over on the Solomonster Sounds Off forums on Facebook, bunch of unintelligent goons. But I didn't start doing this with aspirations to make money or do anything. I did it because I needed a distraction from what was going on with me during the first couple of months of me being unemployed. So I deep down wanted to do YouTube because I was watching guys in the Call of Duty community, believe it or not. Before I realized how political everything was, I was watching, throwback guys like fucking Raw Instinct, and T. Martin, Ali A for all the Modern Warfare 3 shit, right? I'm like, yeah, I want to take my love for Call of Duty. Then obviously my love for Call of Duty is next to nothing now. But I want to take my love for Call of Duty. I want to mix in the WWE stuff, and I want to just kind of get my own brand out there. It eventually just branched off into mostly WWE because over time the game died. But I didn't do it to make money. I didn't do it because I was unemployed and I figured, let me make money on YouTube. No, I did it as a hobby. I did it as a way of an escape to take my mind off of my unemployment, which I was unemployed for almost 9 months. And even when I got a new job, I still worked on it because I enjoyed doing it. I loved commenting to everybody when I had the opportunity. I loved making people laugh. I loved expressing my opinions on WWE. I don't mind the regulations for YouTube now, the new ones that went into effect, because it's going to make you appreciate your craft more. It really is. Nobody should be doing this with aspirations of becoming a YouTube star or a YouTube celebrity. None of us in this wrestling thing are going to do any of that. If we get anywhere, and we're fortunate enough to get anywhere and have a meet and greet or sell merchandise or be fucking noticed by somebody while you're at the bank, so be it. But you guys need to appreciate what you have now. And you're not making much money anyway. Somebody with 600 subs and less than 4,000 hours of watch time on your channel is not making any money. Cronin always complains that he's making $6 to $10 a day on YouTube. If Joe, who has 52,000 subscribers, is making $6 to $10 a day, how much are you making at 600 subs? Gotta be less than 15 cents a video. If that. You barely have enough to buy an MTA card here in New York City at the end of the month. It's not that big of a deal. If you guys want recommendations on equipment, I can give you recommendations on equipment. But if you guys want to start a podcast, you either have one of two things. A, don't do it. Don't do YouTube. Or B, if you want to use this platform, do it for fun, without any dreams or aspirations of becoming a JD, or becoming a Solomonster, or becoming a Justin LeBar, or becoming a Steven Larson, or Bryan Zane. It's not gonna end up that way. And even then, YouTube is more than just putting out content and knowing the tags and the titles and the descriptions and what keywords are bad and what's gonna get your videos demonetized and what's going to appear in the search. I have a grasp on that because I've been doing it. But YouTube is more than just putting out content and hoping that it gets seen by people. YouTube is the new form of television. People watch more YouTube than they do TV, cable TV. Do it for fun. And if you're going to do it, be entertaining. YouTube is entertainment. People don't come here to watch the news. People don't come here to watch some fucking idiot wearing an AJ Styles hat every fucking week report news. Nobody comes here for that. They come here for me. People come here to watch me. People come here to get my opinion on topics in wrestling that they are interested in. If they want to go read the news, they could go to The Observer. They could go to Wrestling Inc. They could go to Wade Keller or Richard Powell or fucking Richard Gray. You know, WrestleZone. You don't need me. Everybody calm down about the YouTube thing. That's my 2 cents on it. I don't really see a problem with it. And it's going to weed out the people who take content and steal content and upload it as theirs just to make some extra money because they don't have the talent enough to be entertaining in their own right. So that's my opinion on that. I wanted to tackle that because I did get a lot of questions about what I thought about the new policy and what I think and how I would give advice to people who want to do the same thing as me. That's my advice. I also want to let you guys know that Twitch, now I gave this a test run on Friday and it seemed to do pretty well, you know, but normally YouTube is the number one priority here because this is where I make money. But Twitch has given all its content creators an option to specifically upload pre-recorded content to their platform. It's like video premiere or something like that. So I took off the script on Friday, which went up around 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock on Friday. And then I pushed it to Twitch around a little after 5 o'clock. I think I pushed it to YouTube around 4, and then it went live on Twitch at 5. So I'm going to be doing that from now on. YouTube is a priority to me because this is where I make my money. But to build the Twitch channel in the meantime and build it as a wrestling-based channel, and I know Twitch is looking for wrestling partners. I know that for a fact. I want to push the content out there as well and get an audience on the Twitch channel as well. So every time Off the Script is uploaded, it's always going to be uploaded an hour after the fact on Twitch just to get some eyes on the channel, and I'm even going to upload it to iTunes earlier than I've been doing as well. So it's going to immediately go to Twitch and iTunes and Podbean and all those other platforms. Same day, literally an hour after we upload it here on YouTube. So I want to let you guys know about that as well. And if you guys missed part 1, you guys can go check that out. I was really happy with the video. We talked about the Roman Reigns steroids allegation. So make sure you guys go and check all that stuff out. A lot of content in there. I want to shout out Matt from WrestleRumble.com. There will be a Rumble Pick'em. I believe it is live right now. And if it's not, it will be this week because we have 1 week to go till the Royal Rumble. I want to thank Matt for reaching out to me and wanting my 2 cents on the Royal Rumble, I will be filming a 20 to 30 second video about my predictions for the men's and women's Royal Rumble. That's going to be airing on Wrestle Rumble's website sometime around Wednesday or Thursday, I think. So go and check out Wrestle Rumble, man. They are a big fan of the show. Matt is awesome. I went to NXT Orlando with him. He's a blast. I'm hoping to meet up with him again sometime this year for some wrestling event. So I want you guys to go check out Wrestle Rumble, man. The top prize is $1,000, and it's not going to be easy, man. The Royal Rumble pick'em for Wrestle Rumble is the toughest pick'em all year because you gotta pick numbers 1 through 30. So it's going to be a very, very difficult task to choose numbers 1 through 30 because the Royal Rumble is always unpredictable as far as who's in it, and it's always unpredictable as far as what guy comes out at what number. So WrestleRumble.com, it's a great way to win some extra cash and make the pay-per-view a little bit more enjoyable. I do believe you also get a WWE replica Winged Eagle belt, the Hulk Hogan era belt, so make sure you guys go and check that out. It's the one I have, the best-looking WWE Championship title that we have ever seen. My buddy Keith, don't really talk to him all that often, but he's a big wrestling guy. I actually went to, it's funny. It really is funny, man. You know, people learned that I have a podcast, and I went to school with Keith in grade school, you know, grades 1 through 5. And here he is Facebooking me that he wants to get into wrestling podcasts, and one of the podcasts that he wants to get into is me. And I just find that to be incredibly humbling that someone, you know, knows what I'm doing, and you know, we went to school together way back in the day, and you know, we come full circle, and you know, people realize that I got a podcast, and people realize that what I'm doing is fun, and it's, you know, something that they enjoy. You know, never would have thought that people that I went to school with way back in the day would be listening to what I'm doing now. It's crazy, you know. But he reached out to me, and he brought to my attention that some fucking idiot on Salamonster's Facebook forum or Facebook group, and this has nothing to do with Jason at all. I love Jason. I think he's absolutely the best at what he does. I don't know how well that forum is monitored, but there was something along the lines of someone posting a very, very old picture of me wearing like an old throwback Atlanta Braves hat. Had to be about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, back in the Call of Duty days. And the question was, what do you guys think of JD from NY? A lot of the questions posed was, why are we talking about this goon here, or who? Nobody really knew who I was. Some people, you know, pinned my NXT review in the comments to that particular post. You know, some people said that I'm overly negative, or I'm a Bruce Blitz light, or I am, you know, like I said, negative, and I don't know what I'm talking about. He's a smart mark who has nothing nice to say about the product. I don't even know why he's watching it if he doesn't like what he's watching. He doesn't know jack shit about wrestling, blah, 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 blah. All the shit that I usually hear on a daily basis. And then I go back and think, well, if people are talking about you, whether it's positive or negative, then you know it's a good thing. People are talking about you. Your name is in their mouth. So I just found that funny that people are bringing up my name on Salamonster's forum. You know, many of which didn't really have particularly nice things to say about me. But I really don't even give a shit. I don't care. We know what we do here. We know what we do here is better than anybody else on this platform. So I don't need people to ask, what do you think of JD on some other forum. I genuinely don't give a shit. They're not paying my bills. I don't care. I don't care what you think of me, because more than likely, I am right and you are wrong. You know, you may watch because you're a fan, but when people automatically tell me, well, if he hates it, why is he watching it? I automatically discredit everything you have to say from that point on. I don't care. That's the most tired excuse that you could possibly ever use. And I'm sick and tired of, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Okay, so if the Patriots lose today, you're not going to watch the Patriots next year, right? Fuck out of here, man. I did want to mention something else, and I completely just went blank. What the fuck did I want to talk about? I really don't know, and I hope it comes back to me. But regardless, this is episode 205, part number 2 for your Sunday. Thank you guys so very much for everything. If you missed part 1, it's live on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go and check it out. Link will be in the annotation that you see within this video. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. We're almost at 87,000 subscribers. And then we're inching and inching and inching. Closer to 13,000 away from that silver play button, man. So 100,000 is on the horizon. I'd love to get to 100,000. My goal, realistically. Because whenever the All-In show is announced for the Elite, I definitely hope it's in Chicago. If All-In is announced in Chicago, I am going to be there. I'm going to All-In. I will find my way out there, whether I drive, take a train, fly, whatever. I hate flying, but you know, I'm not going to miss that event, and I definitely want to make it out to that. And my goal is to, that's September 1st. I would hope that I'm at, hopefully before then, maybe around SummerSlam, that I'm at 100,000 subscribers finally. So that's my goal. We're at 13,000 away, little below 13,000 away, a little more than 13,000 away from 100,000 subscribers. But thank you guys so much, man. Spread the word. Word of mouth is the best way to do it. You know, YouTube. Subscribe, hit that bell for all notifications. We will be discussing this week the Royal Rumble. We'll be discussing NXT TakeOver, Philadelphia, Monday Night Raw, tomorrow night, Raw 25. I will be reviewing it night after, or as soon as it ends on the USA Network. This is going to be, apparently WWE is touting this as bigger than the Raw after WrestleMania. I doubt that, but with the way that they've hyped this up and who they got on this show, it might very well be. But Raw 25 may very well be the biggest Monday Night Raw of all time up until this point. Obviously, I can't speak to Monday Night Raw or for Monday Night Raw because I have yet to see what's to come after this. But we could very well get an even greater Monday Night Raw after this. But up until this point, this is probably the biggest Monday Night Raw of all time. So we're going to see what happens on Monday. I'm very intrigued about what they got planned for that. They got so much star power on that show. I don't even think it's going to be a wrestling show. I think it's just going to be a huge nostalgia fest. So we'll have to wait and see with that. I want to thank everybody for showing support to Harry's as well. Harrys.com/script. Make sure you guys check that out. You guys are getting clean shaven with Harrys.com/script. Free travel set for your efforts. All you have to do is pay the shipping and handling. We have a razor blade, a razor handle, a razor blade protective case, and some shave gel. So make sure you guys go and check that out. You guys are kicking ass with that. Harrys.com/script. I also want to thank everybody over at Audible. All new listeners of the show, you guys are going to get 1 month free of Audible just for signing up, and you're going to get 1 free audiobook of your choice. It's a great way to support the show. audibletrial.com/offthescript. So you guys got over 180,000 choices to choose from. Make it worth your while and support the show while doing so, man. And your t-shirts, barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. And then if you guys want to support via Patreon, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Let's get into the news, man. I want to start off with Alberto El Retard. Now, apparently, Alberto Del Rio, you guys know the roller coaster year he's been on. In TNA, world champion, gets suspended. He breaks up with Paige. Before that, he was on Periscope, drunk all over the place with Paige, calling Triple H a big-nosed pussy over in Stamford, Connecticut. Everything that you could think of bad about the WWE came from Del Rio's mouth. So what is Del Rio doing now? Contract negotiations are coming up with Impact Wrestling. He doesn't know if he's staying or going. He needs to find somewhere else to work. So what do? You tuck your tail in between your legs and you come crawling back to the place that made you. Former WWE star Alberto Del Rio was recently interviewed by Medio Tiempo. Never heard of him. Don't even know what it means. I took Spanish for 4 years in high school. Don't speak a lick of it. During the interview, Del Rio spoke about his previous rants about Triple H and if he will return to WWE. Now, for those who missed it, Del Rio took several shots, like I mentioned, at Triple H in Periscope videos last year, on his Instagram. This was during his relationship with Paige. Del Rio says that he apologized to Triple H and WWE for what he said. And I quote, "As you know, I am a man who knows when he was wrong. In fact, I was in contact with them. Like WWE, when they admitted their mistake the first time I left, I also admitted my mistake. I personally apologize to Triple H for the issues we had when I was in a bad relationship with my ex-partner. She and her entire family made me believe that they were affected, or that they affected our relationship. She made me believe that the videos, Paige and Maddox, those videos, and all that was happening outside to her was perpetrated by Triple H and the company. At the time, I believed her because she was my partner. I defended her by heart and sword. Then things were different. Later, I realized how wrong I was to place my trust in that person. I deeply regret my words and apologize to Triple H, his wife, and WWE. They understood me." So he's blaming Paige for his shortcomings. Yes, because Paige, having a sex tape released with Woods and Maddox, well before she even realized you were even alive, is, perpetrated by WWE and Triple H. So Paige is the cause for his problems. This guy is delusional. Yes, I'm sure Paige enticed you to drink and then go on Periscope and hit that little fucking red circle that indicates record, calling Triple H a big-nosed pussy in Stamford, Connecticut. Sure. On if he would return to the WWE. Cross my fingers that he doesn't. Of course I would go back if the opportunity arises. Of course you would. It's easy money. I would not go back full-time, but I would transition to a special appearance wrestler. Yeah, you would do that. Does WWE find enough value in you to put you in a position like that? Probably not. After 2 failed attempts with Del Rio, why would you want to see him back for a third? He came back the second time. He beat John Cena for the United States title. Everybody was like, oh my God, Del Rio's back. Started off hot and then we went right back to being an absolute nobody. Del Rio is one of those guys that WWE stripped him of everything that made him unique. They stripped Ricardo Rodriguez from him. They stripped the white towel and the beautiful gold outfits and the suits and the fancy cars and the gold coming down from the ceiling and the entrance. They took all that away from him and made him a generic wrestler. Why would you want to see this guy, who is a shell of his former self, back in WWE, on Raw or SmackDown? There is no interest in Del Rio whatsoever. Of course he'd go back, but does WWE find enough value in him to be a special appearance wrestler? Who does he think he is? Daniel Bryan? Brock Lesnar? The Rock? Fuck out of here, man. Before I put down my wrestling boots for good, it will surely happen. Surely before I retire, I will do something special with WWE. However, I do not see it happening in 2018, but in 2019 before leaving the United States. I'm definitely going to do something special with them. I consider myself to be on good terms with WWE right now. With them on my side, we will one day shake hands and everything will be fine. Time heals all wounds. Yeah, that's what people have been telling me too. Del Rio is a waste of everybody's time. I don't want to see this guy back at all in WWE. Never again. I would be happy if we never see Del Rio back in the WWE. So, goodbye, Del Rio. I hope we never see you. Sasha Banks. She explains why WWE should introduce women's tag team titles. I think Sasha Banks is on some type of medication for her to come up with something outlandish like this. She was recently interviewed by the Jefferson Lake of Sky Sports. Sounds like an actual lake, Jefferson Lake. She was interviewed by Jefferson Lake of Sky Sports. This was in order to promote the 25th anniversary episode of Monday Night Raw. Sasha was asked how she would feel about WWE implementing tag team titles for the women's division. This is something that has a lot of fans asking, what is WWE going to do with the women's division going forward? This is something that's been asked of WWE over the past year. Sasha explains that sometimes storylines can be difficult when there is nothing to fight for. Yeah, storylines can also be difficult too when they put you in fucking tag team matches with absolutely no meaning behind them every single week. Of course you're fighting for nothing. They don't even know what they're doing with Alexa Bliss. I quote, I would love that. I think we have enough women on the roster right now to actually have a women's tag team division. Really? What roster are you talking about? Raw or SmackDown? So you have enough women on Raw where you can constitute having a tag team title. Why? So we see the same tag team match every single fucking week? Fighting over the same fucking title every single week? No, Sasha. If a tag team title is being implemented to the women, it needs to be a dual-branded thing. You need to have women from SmackDown come over to Raw, and you need to have women from Raw go over to SmackDown. This is why I instituted way back when the first draft happened, put all the women on one show. Don't listen to me. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. A tag team title for the women's division right now on either brand would be absolutely fucking god-awful. There is no value in a tag team title right now. I don't know what she's talking about. We've been given multiple storylines, but at the same time, it's very hard to accomplish something if you're not actually fighting for anything. That much I can agree with. All the women feel like a complete nobody because there's nothing to fight for, and they're putting these women in shit that really does not matter to anybody. She continued, only one woman can go after the women's championship, and I think if we had tag team championships, we'd be able to create way more interesting storylines. What interesting storylines? You think WWE Creator is going to give the women interesting storylines? No. If you had tag team divisions, you're going to create way more repetitive garbage. And we already see enough of that. Adding a title to that, it's not going to make it more important. We have tag team matches all the time, she says, every single week. So I say, why not get a championship involved in that? Because having a match for a title on repeat every single week between the same competitors every single week is not exactly making a championship. Tag team championships in the women's division is not a good thing right now. At all. It's just adding something to the company that will have no value. And by that, it's going to devalue everything else around it. A waste. Sasha Banks also said that she's the greatest women's wrestler of all time. I think this woman, honestly, is on drugs. Sasha Banks has been the best female performer coming out of WrestleMania, but for her to say she is the best female performer of all time, honey, slow it down. Slow it down. You're 25 years old, or however old she is. She's not the greatest of all time yet. People coming to me, Paige could have been the greatest of all time. How the fuck do you know? You got a crystal ball somewhere? Do you perform magic? Are you a genie? Are you Nostradamus? How the fuck do you know? You don't know if Sasha Banks or Paige is going to be the best of all time at what they do for the women. Do you honestly think or have any faith in WWE to make a Sasha Banks the greatest of all time? Do you have any faith in WWE to make a Paige the greatest of all time? How could they be the greatest of all time when we see nothing but straight trash from the women on Raw and SmackDown every single week? What are you basing those claims on? You know? You ain't basing them on anything. Sasha has been worthless to Monday Night Raw. Paige, nobody even realized she was still with the company. She was off TV for 2 years. So slow your rolls. Okay? And Sasha needs to take a step back. That might be what the boss says, but those words ain't going to get you any favor in the locker room. Continue talking. Believe me. We have WWE teasing legends for the Royal Rumble. First ever women's Royal Rumble match is almost here. Yeah, I'm excited. With WWE announcing that the match will feature 30 competitors, that means fans are in store for a lot of surprises. WWE is teasing the participation of a few former stars in that match. This comes on WWE's preview of Raw. Monday, they teased Stratus, Wilson, Jacqueline, and Terry Runnels entering the match. Terry Runnels wasn't even a fucking wrestler. Why would I want to see Terry Runnels in the Royal Rumble? You know? Marlena was something to behold when she was with Goldust. Believe me. But Terry Runnels in a Royal Rumble match when she has little to no wrestling experience, I will take a rain check on that. I don't care. In fact, no rain check. I don't want to see it at all. Trish, Tori Wilson, Jacqueline, I could see. Lita, I could see. Beth Phoenix, I could see. You know? Molly Holly, Kelly, Candice, Michelle McCool, Layla. Could see all those women in the Royal Rumble. Am I excited about it? I don't really give a shit. Don't really give a shit. So WWE's official preview says, will new superstars announce their participation in the match on Raw 25? Plus, what will happen when WWE legends like Trish Stratus, Tori Wilson, Jacqueline, and Terry Runnels, who will all be in attendance at Raw 25, what will they have to say about this historic match? I don't care. You want to know what I think about this historic match and what they have to say? I don't care. Next. That's pretty much what I got on the basic news. Let's get into the fucking main story of this entire thing. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, the odds for Daniel Bryan have skyrocketed. People are now proclaiming that Daniel Bryan is a 10-1 odds favorite to win the Royal Rumble. Last week, he was a 66-1 odd. Now he's 10-1. The annual Royal Rumble match is now less than a week away. Seems that this is usually when the speculation begins to heat up, when, surprises are being name dropped and surprise entrants are being talked about, who ultimately could be the winner and go to Wrestlemania and the main event. The odds-on favorites for the past 2 weeks have been John Cena and Roman Reigns, with Shinsuke Nakamura being one of the big shift odds over the past couple of days. I'm also hearing that Dolph Ziggler is now one of the potential odds-on favorites to win the Royal Rumble, and that's based on the fact, and I could see WWE doing this, but you think to why they would do it and why you would care, it's a completely different story, comparing both situations. I could see why they do it because it makes sense, which I'm going to explain. But if he does win the Royal Rumble and challenges for the WWE Championship, would you ultimately care about Dolph Ziggler? You think having him off TV for a couple of weeks to sell this United States Championship garbage, you think having him off TV for a couple of weeks and then having him come into the Royal Rumble and win the whole thing is going to miraculously give you a different perception of Dolph Ziggler? It's going to erase the fucking last 5 years that WWE has fucked this guy over? No. Now, I can see why WWE would give Dolph Ziggler the Royal Rumble when A, it would be unpredictable, B, nobody would be expecting it, and C, it would actually make sense based on his actions giving up the United States Championship. He gave up the United States Championship because nobody's seen it coming and he has bigger plans in store for himself. Obviously, that would be winning the Royal Rumble. That would be a bigger plan than the United States Championship. One has to think why WWE would have Dolph Ziggler give up the United States Championship willingly, only to have himself come back and go back after the championship that he gave up. Then why did he give it up to begin with? Why would you give that championship up, ultimately to come off TV or walk away, or with the perception of him walking away, only for him to come back and, again, fight for the championship that he never lost? And then why the fuck did he give it up? If you're going to give something up, if you're going to win that title, give it up because you think you're better than that. Obviously, you're going to go on to bigger and better things. So winning the Royal Rumble may not be as far-fetched as people think for Dolph Ziggler. I don't want to see it because I just don't give a shit about Dolph Ziggler. I don't want to have anything take away from Nakamura, AJ Styles, but it would make sense. It would be shocking for Dolph Ziggler to win the Royal Rumble. But then you also have to ask yourself, is WWE going to have faith in Dolph Ziggler to push him the way that they want? Or do you have faith in WWE to give Dolph Ziggler this big momentous occasion, fight for the title in the main event of WrestleMania, and then continue to push him throughout the year? We're always going to think back to what WWE did to Dolph Ziggler. It's never constant with him. So him being pushed for 2 or 3 months, 4 months, it's great. But is WWE going to be consistent with it? No, they're not. So Cena and Reigns, please, I don't want to get eye cancer just looking at their names and them being potential winners of the Royal Rumble, please. Nakamura, he's my odds-on favorite right now because I have it in my brain that that's the biggest WrestleMania match, and I just can't sit here and tell you that WWE is that stupid to just bypass that match for the WWE Championship. I can't. They cannot be that stupid. There is no other big match on SmackDown Live but that one. Seems that there's another huge shift in the betting odds, as Daniel Bryan has become one of the odds-on favorites to win as well. Seems that this could be a huge hint about his in-ring status ahead of the biggest event of the year, being a 10-1 favorite. Bryan was forced to retire back in 2016 due to injury and recently Triple H stated that the company wouldn't be willing to risk putting him back in the ring if he wasn't medically cleared. WWE has to take a look at the performer and what Daniel Bryan is as a human being. He's a family man. He's got a kid. He's got a wife. WWE doesn't want to risk Daniel Bryan getting in the ring. We all know he wants to wrestle, but WWE is going to look at all aspects before they ever come to a decision on Daniel Bryan. Triple H was obviously giving you the political answer the best that he could. Nobody's going to come out and claim that Daniel Bryan's cleared. Why would they? Why would they? When Daniel Bryan is cleared, they will say he's cleared. If Daniel Bryan is announced cleared now, it's going to override everything. It's going to be bigger than the Rumble. It's going to be bigger than what's going on with WrestleMania. Because everybody wants to see Daniel Bryan back in a WWE ring. Bryan was forced to retire back in 2016, like I said. Seems that the betting companies may know something that WWE doesn't want everybody else to know. Now that he's an odds-on favorite in the match, even though he hasn't been confirmed to be a part of it. Meltzer says that this is just speculation at this point. As of this week on Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer claimed that Daniel Bryan is not cleared. And it's all just speculation right now. If Daniel Bryan wins the Royal Rumble this year, Roman Reigns is going to take a back seat, several seats in the back, during WrestleMania season. Why would WWE give Daniel Bryan, who is still the most over man in the company, a Royal Rumble victory and ruin the momentum for Roman Reigns? Because you know that's what's going to happen. You know anything Daniel Bryan is going to derail Roman Reigns from winning any type of fan, love or any type of championship. It's gonna diminish any type of big win at WrestleMania. Because everybody is going to be talking about Daniel Bryan. Now, would this be the biggest story of the year? Absolutely. Does WWE want this right now? No. Their biggest story right now going into WrestleMania is Roman Reigns kicking out of one F5. Kicking out of one F5. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns took how many F5s at WrestleMania 31? 4? No, but I'm supposed to believe this year he's going to kick out of one F5. Fuck out of here. Because WWE doesn't really think that the fans know that Roman Reigns took 4 F5s and kicked out. Now they're making it a big deal. Now, apparently, the F5 is now the strongest finisher in the history of wrestling. Somehow the F5 got some Dragon Ball Z superpower. Ridiculous. That's what they're building up. You think WWE's going to derail that? Fuck no. If Daniel Bryan wins the Royal Rumble, I'm all for it. You know me already. I wouldn't be against this at all. It'd be the biggest story of the year. Plus, we get Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. Who the fuck wouldn't want that match? I think this is all merely speculation right now. This is probably the odds makers just throwing shit in there to just throw people off right now. Because it may look like the Rumble may be too predictable. Cena, Reigns, Nakamura. So WWE might have thrown Daniel Bryan's name in there with the odds makers to just kind of throw people off right now. Ziggler's in there. I'm hearing Batista as well. We reported Finn Balor might win the Royal Rumble. I don't see any of those things happening. I could see Ziggler. It wouldn't be the first time WWE did something like that. I could certainly see Nakamura because it makes sense. People also telling me, JD Nakamura hasn't done anything to warrant a Royal Rumble victory. Why would you have him win? Idiot. Winning the Royal Rumble would give Nakamura all that he needs. What, you think winning the Royal Rumble and outlasting 30 guys is not a big fucking deal? It would certainly diminish everything that WWE gave Nakamura in 2017 in that horrible feud with Jinder Mahal. It would erase some of that. I'm not going to say it's going to erase all of it, but it would certainly help his causes. And a big win at the Royal Rumble could certainly give Nakamura a huge exclamation point this year. But Daniel Bryan winning the Royal Rumble, I just don't see it happening. I don't think he will be in the Royal Rumble. If that music hits, my God, I think the Wells Fargo Center will fucking crumble due to the explosion that's in that arena. I would love to see it. And wasn't the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia when Roman Reigns won it? Huh? Wasn't everybody wanting Daniel Bryan to come on out? And he didn't. And Rey Mysterio got booed. It ain't happening, bro. It ain't happening. WWE would never give this to us just based on a ton of aspects. WWE doesn't give a shit. It's all Roman Reigns this year for WrestleMania season. Speaking about Paige, going back to what we talked about with Paige She ain't going to be in the Royal Rumble. She makes a bold statement about her in-ring career being over. There were reports last week saying Paige and her WWE career was over. Although WWE hasn't really addressed this yet. I'm not sure if they're waiting until after the Royal Rumble or maybe Raw 25. I don't know. Michael Cole did say Paige was pulled from the Women's Royal Rumble due to a neck injury, so that this is at least some confirmation at this point that news right now for her injury does not look good. Although Paige was pulled from the Women's Royal Rumble, it looks like she's still keeping in great spirits. In a social media post, Paige commented saying 2018 will be her year. She capitalized every letter in the word will, which means she's still serious about this statement. But unfortunately, her persistence probably won't cause WWE doctors to change their minds if they've already decided she can't compete anymore. Just ask the bearded one, Daniel Bryan. Odds are Paige's retirement announcement might be held off after the Royal Rumble, and obviously with Absolution being heel, they don't want to pretty much go back on all of that because any type of retirement announcement is going to garner positive reaction from the fans for Paige. But you never know what's going to happen until the Royal Rumble is done with. PW Insider is reporting that there is currently no backstage heat on Sasha Banks over the incident. This is great news because it's bad enough that Banks probably feels awful about this happening in the first place. The spot where Paige was hurt is something Sasha Banks and Paige had done before and even successfully pulled it off the previous night inside Madison Square Garden. So for those people blaming Paige, that spot was done the night before the actual incident. So shit happens. Mistakes happen. Okay? It was done before and it didn't happen the next night. Didn't work out in their favor. It's being seen as the kind of thing that could happen to anybody, as it should. So no matter who actually pulled off the spot in question, the blame isn't being placed on Sasha Banks, which is a good thing. So everybody coming out on Twitter, fire Sasha Banks, cut the shit. This is good news for Sasha Banks because the last thing anyone needs is the stigma of having a notion of injuring people in the ring. But it still won't help the situation right now for Paige. We really don't know. WWE hasn't said anything yet. We don't know if they could be waiting until after the Rumble or after Raw 25. We don't know what is going on yet. More than likely, her in-ring career is over. With such injuries like this, a neck injury, same injury that happened to Edge. If Edge didn't come back, I doubt they're going to let poor little Paige go through that as well. So, Paige might as well be done with the WWE as far as an in-ring competitive aspect goes. And like I told you, I feel sorry that the girl can't do what she loves at the young age of 25. I really do. I can't imagine not being, or being told that you can't do what you love to do anymore. But, you got to look at it from a perspective of what we see on television. Is it going to harm the women's division? No. Is Paige replaceable? Absolutely. Did Sasha Banks do it with malicious intent? No. Does this get Absolution off our television? I hope so. Never once said that Paige, deserved what she got. I merely stated that it's very difficult for me to care about what Paige did because she was reckless with her own life and her own career. Now we're all of a sudden supposed to feel sorry for somebody because they can't wrestle anymore. I feel sorry that she can't wrestle anymore, but, she's already had twice, 2 chances, a third time. This was her third lease on life with WWE. Give me a break. It's not going to harm anybody. Paige, I feel sorry for her, but if her in-ring career is over, then you need to live with the fact that her in-ring career is over and she's not coming back. There'll be somebody else to catch your eye besides Paige. This is not the end of her WWE career. There's always a second lease on life. It's going to be more difficult for a woman. I don't see WWE making her into the next Corey Graves or anything, but WWE will find something to do with her. She'll be just fine. Chris Jericho's not going to be at Raw 25. Apparently, that's what I heard. Jericho will be returning to Monday Night Raw. Just to make things known, Dave Meltzer says that he will be there. Jericho will be returning to Raw 25. Jericho is still working with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he will be facing Naito very soon. People were saying Raw 25 was not going to be graced with Chris Jericho's presence because he is working with New Japan. But this is a one-off, along with most legends that are being brought back. However, it looks like WWE announced Jericho prematurely because a deal had not been signed yet, according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer. That doesn't mean that a deal won't be signed this week or even by the time we get to Raw 25. Jericho and Vince McMahon have a good relationship, so no one is doubting that he'll be on the show. The talk about Jericho returning for the 25th anniversary show dates back several months to New Japan Pro Wrestling officials who knew this would be the situation when they worked out a deal with him. For those wondering if this will lead to a Royal Rumble appearance, no. Jericho will be in Paris, France as part of his tour with Fozzy. So Jericho, people were saying that he's not going to be at Raw 25 due to obligations with New Japan. He will be at Raw 25 thanks to Dave Meltzer and what he has reported. The Undertaker's WrestleMania 34 opponent has been all but confirmed. Now, obviously, you guys know who this is, and it does take away some of the luster of him winning the Royal Rumble, but if he is not winning the Royal Rumble, then we always have Roman Reigns to fall back on. But if John Cena is announced tomorrow or begins the process of a feud with The Undertaker at WrestleMania, that would pretty much eliminate him from the Royal Rumble candidates to win that match. Now, The Undertaker could be at Raw 25 tomorrow and announce he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. You know? So that would make Cena and The Undertaker in the Royal Rumble. That would give a little bit more unpredictability to it. But if Roman Reigns, or John Cena rather, if he comes out and starts challenging The Undertaker for a WrestleMania match, and then The Undertaker's not in the Royal Rumble, then it's kind of set in stone that John Cena's not going to win the Royal Rumble. If you get my drift. Might have been confusing for some people out there, but you know, if both of them in the Royal Rumble, it's a little bit more unpredictable. But if one, John Cena is in the Royal Rumble, The Undertaker is not, and this challenge is made for WrestleMania, then it's a predictable outcome that Cena is not going to be winning the Royal Rumble. Now, we all know that the Roman Reigns match was terrible. After the match, Undertaker took off his robe, his hat, his gloves, descended into the depths of hell. Many fans believe that this was The Undertaker's way of saying bye to the WWE Universe and subtly announcing his retirement from professional wrestling. As the months continued on, however, speculation began to arise as to whether or not Taker actually is done inside the ring. He is not. Everybody's saying he looks in phenomenal shape. It's the same fucking thing every year. He feels great. Taker was backstage at this past Tuesday's episode of SmackDown Live, and while it wasn't confirmed why he was there, it's being speculated that it was WWE's way to get plans for him to return to television. Taker is scheduled to appear on the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. Speculation fired up on a potential Undertaker return for WrestleMania 34 when a report broke suggesting that WWE's plans right now for The Undertaker will be John Cena, and that John Cena's plans will be bigger than any WWE title match on the card. This leads fans to believe that Cena vs. Undertaker could finally be happening at WrestleMania in New Orleans. Now, a report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter has confirmed those plans. Both Cena and The Undertaker will be in New York for Raw 25. While their role is unknown, it is believed that a big angle will be shot to begin their WrestleMania 34 build. There will certainly be a mixed reaction from fans about this. While John Cena and The Undertaker's match at WrestleMania has been wanted for a long time, many believe now it's too late, including me, as Undertaker's well past his prime, and the match won't be as good as it could have been 5 or 10 years ago. Never mind 5 or 10 years ago. The match should have happened at WrestleMania 30. Should have happened at WrestleMania 30. With the streak on the line. This match should have happened with the streak on the line. It's not important anymore. You know? And if WWE wants to add anything to this, it's probably going to be The Undertaker's last match. It's probably going to add a stipulation of loser leaves town or the loser has their career ended. I could certainly see them doing something like that. Undertaker versus John Cena. Career versus career. You know? At that point, at least it would be a little bit unpredictable. Because we all know John Cena has a reduced schedule now anyway. And then you put The Undertaker in there, who's on his last leg anyway. Either one of them could lose the match. I don't think The Undertaker's streak should have never been ruined. Just for this simple reason. Can you imagine a John Cena Undertaker match with the streak on the line? How many people would be sweating their balls off? I don't believe they're going to give it to Cena. How many AAs can The Undertaker kick out of? It would have been great. The thrill would have been there. The intrigue would have been there. Now, it's too late. Undertaker's got 2 bad hips. After what we've seen at WrestleMania 33 with Roman Reigns, I don't want to see him in a match with John Cena. I don't. It means nothing to me. Undertaker and John Cena, we'll see what happens. More than likely, according to reports, it's being built tomorrow at Raw 25. Finally, guys, we're going to end with this. Jim Ross, who will be at Raw 25 at the Manhattan Center, calling the action from the Manhattan Center with Jerry the King Lawler. He recently spoke on how WWE can get CM Punk to return to the WWE. When Punk walked out of WWE, it was a decision that not a lot of fans saw coming, but apparently the way he was treated on the roster caused him to take a walk due to his frustration and that he was allegedly working through injuries. The WWE lifestyle can be tough, and it seemed Punk had had enough. After plenty of speculation regarding his return, CM Punk has still yet to make a comeback in WWE. He remains under contract with UFC and is currently waiting for his second fight to become a reality. Jim Ross recently spoke to Sam Roberts about CM Punk and explained what WWE needs to do in order to get Punk to return. And this is what Jim Ross stated, and I quote, "I would try to figure out a way if there's one more run in CM Punk, and one more run to me means a WrestleMania main event. Not 10, not 2, not 3, a WrestleMania. Start with that. Let's build to the right build with the crescendo of WrestleMania. And the only way to do it, the only way I do him is to have him return at WrestleMania and not be on television. Sign, train, vignettes, a little angle, boom. His first match is WrestleMania. Yeah, that way there's no pressure on anybody. CM Punk's return to WWE could bring a lot of business, and it might be a welcome sight at this point. After all, more eyes on the product is never a bad thing, but only time will tell if a bridge between the two sides can truly ever be mended. I think WWE should go about CM Punk returning to the company the way that WWE let Jericho go to New Japan, and the way that Jericho and Kenny Omega built their match. You know, they were never on WWE, or they were never on television, right? Jericho made that one appearance where he was on the video screen and he challenged Omega, and then next thing you know, he's attacking him in the ring with the United States Championship. And then there was a press conference, and then the match, and then they even talked about the aftermath of the match on his own podcast. You know, I think CM Punk returning to WWE should include a WrestleMania match. I don't know if CM Punk would ever return to a full-time schedule in WWE. He'll probably just be used as a Brock Lesnar type, special appearances only. But I don't think WWE could, contain themselves. They're going to want Punk back on television. They're going to want Punk on Monday Night Raw. They're going to want Punk, building towards some sort of angle for a WrestleMania match. Obviously, that means he's got to be on TV. It's kind of tough to build a WrestleMania match with one guy and then the other guy is not there. Punk is probably going to need to be on television. I get what Jim Ross is saying. Don't feature him on television. Sign him. Have him train. Do vignettes. Little angle and boom. Just follow the Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho script. If that's what they want for CM Punk to come back, if that's what Jim Ross is referring to, then fine. One appearance like Jericho made against Omega. Same thing with CM Punk. The vignettes. Have him show up on the Titantron. Whoever he calls out, I don't know, AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, whatever. I would love to see CM Punk back on television. This is the only true guy left that has any mainstream attention to come back to WWE and generate a buzz for this company. And I honestly, I'm sticking to my guns. I think CM Punk is going to be one of those guys that has their relationship mended through the 2K series. I think they're going to utilize CM Punk and they're going to try and get him back into the game, and they're going to make a storyline, or they're going to make a mode, a CM Punk mode. They're going to put him in the game as maybe a DLC or a special character. They're going to give you a special CM Punk edition, Best in the World edition, whatever. And it's happened with Hogan. It's happened with Warrior. It happened with Sting. All those guys were brought back into the WWE, Sting for the first time, through the video game. Nobody expected the Ultimate Warrior to be brought back, and he was doing vignettes for 2K, and then the next thing you know, he's in the Hall of Fame. It's not out of the question for that to happen. And I honestly think that CM Punk, and to get him back into the company, is through the video game. I don't think they're just willingly going to reach out to CM Punk and have him come back. There's too much animosity. I don't see CM Punk as being the guy who is going to go to WWE. I need you guys. What's up? CM Punk is still very much in UFC. He's obviously still training for UFC. He's going to have another match in UFC. I do believe if CM Punk loses his next match, then yes, he should go back to wrestling. But I don't think this year he's coming back to WWE whatsoever. I think if CM Punk loses his next UFC match, I do think he quits that. He gave it his all. Respect the guy for what he did at his age, training and really sticking to it. But if CM Punk does not win his next UFC fight, I wholeheartedly see him joining this All-In show. If it's in Chicago, CM Punk, I am making a prediction, will be at this All-In show in Chicago. Headlined and funded by the elite. Cody Rhodes, Skrull, Omega, the Young Bucks, everybody. I think Punk will be at that show. And you can guarantee it. If it's Punk and Omega in the main event, take my fucking money now. I'll walk there if I have to. It'd be unreal. Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here. Don't feel good. Really shitty weekend. And I will see you guys back here. I might do a part 3 if I can conjure up some news, but there really is no news. So missing a show yesterday really didn't harm me in any way, because there really is no news, and I blew through everything else that I had. If I do anything tomorrow, it will be my prediction on the top 5 possible surprises for the Royal Rumble. If you guys want to see a video like that, let me know. But other than that, thank you guys so much for the love and support. Keep me in your prayers, man. I'm not going through a good time right now. I'm having a very, very, very difficult time, and I just hope I snap out of whatever I'm going through. I really want to concentrate on content, and I hope, I just hope that I get through whatever I'm going through, man, because I really don't feel good right now. And I can honestly, wholeheartedly say that if I could cry right now, I would. I just don't have any more tears to give. That's how rough of a stretch I've been having. So thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate all the support. Please check out the sponsors, and I'll be back tomorrow with something. And we got Raw 25 tomorrow, so I'll be live tweeting for that. Thank you guys so much. Love you all, and I'll see you guys right back here. If no part 3 tomorrow, I'll see you back here next Friday for 206. This will also be on Twitch. An hour after it goes live on YouTube, this will be on Twitch. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Raw 25. I'll talk to you later.